Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm James Jackson, your host.
And I'm Pastor Wayne Moore, your
Great
co-host.
to host with you again.
Yes, happy to be here with you, Pastor.
Yeah. And it's always a pleasure to work in tandem
Yes.
with such a great man.
Yes, what God has joined together,
Let no man
put asunder.
Are we preaching or are we supposed to host the show?
We're gonna host this show.
I guess we'll host.
Yeah, we got a great guest today.
Yeah, Judge Brenda Roper.
Yes.
And she is a judge at Center Township.
Yeah. Newly elected. I think she's in her second year.
And she's done a lot of work for the people of this county.
And she's credentialized.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have her with us today. And she's all over the city.
Yeah.
She's participating in sororities and a lot of women groups. And she takes time to work in her church. I just happen to know where she fellowships at, and she does a great job where she fellowships.
And you were telling me just how proud you are of her.
Very proud of her. I think I've watched her in the last couple of years, and she's done a phenomenal job with the seat that she holds in Marion County as it relates to the judge. Small claims, I believe it is. And she's doing an outstanding job. And we're really so happy and privileged to have her today. She's always on the move, and she's taking time out of her busy schedule to meet with Paul and Silas.
Okay.
Yeah, she's meeting with Paul and Silas today, and we're happy to have her.
In our community.
Yeah.
So we're glad that you all have joined us as well on today's show. You're going to be very, very blessed. Please let your friends, family, and relatives know.
Please do that.
That we're on the air, Real People, Real Voices. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm James Jackson.
Pastor Wayne Moore.
And we're glad that you have joined us on today's show. We have Judge Brenda Roper. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Roper.
Thank you.
And you're doing a lot of great things for Marion County, and certainly we appreciate that. And Dr. Moore, we were talking about it just before this segment, all the different things that you're doing in the county.
Oh, thank you so much. This is my county. This is my city. So whatever I can do, I'll try to do.
So what happens in the courts? Of course, there's a lot of different courts, but your particular responsibility?
Well, I have the unique privilege of being a small claims court judge. And I say it's a unique privilege because when litigants come to court, typically there's always maybe a concern or a fear about coming to court. And one thing about my court is that it's an informal court, meaning you can represent yourself. You don't have to have an attorney with you. And I always say that you make the best argument for yourself. And one thing about small claims is that with it being an informal court, the requirements of evidence and what have you is not necessarily a requirement. It's really a informal, tell me what your position is based on what you've been through, and let's hear what the other side's response to, and we'll see what Indiana law says, and we'll go for it from there.
And certainly, when you talk about making your best argument for yourself, there's a lot of people that have disputes in the community over various issues. What can litigants bring to your court, and is there anything that they can't? Or is there anything that if I have an issue, that's not something that you handle in the courts?
Okay. Primarily, my court, we handle transactions on our contracts or maybe landlord-tenant matters. As far as bringing information to the court, I have a limit as far as what my court, statutorily, it's $8,000. So if there's a claim that you're bringing before the court, your limit is $8,000. And as far as information, as long as it's relevant to what's being discussed, what you presented to the court will hear it. We will hear it.
So the minimum amount would have to be that $8,000.
The maximum is $8,000.
The maximum is $8,000.
What's the minimum?
Zero.
Let me ask you a question.
Zero to, but you know.
Judge Roper, after sitting on this bench for almost 2 years now,
Yes.
what is the most complicated area for you as a small claims judge as it relates to the community?
Sometimes we have litigants that are not, that they're a little nervous about coming to court. And I think myself, as well as my fellow small claims court judges, we try to make sure that one of the atmosphere is that we're approachable, that the court itself is approachable. So if you do have an issue or a concern, you should bring it to the attention of the court and what have you. The role of the court, what we do is really process information that's brought to us. It's without that information being brought to the court, we can't make decisions. And sometimes litigants understand that, and they will have all their information ready to go, witnesses, you know, and discoveries have been completed and all that. And sometimes we have litigants that are not quite as prepared as they want to be. And at that point, they could always ask the court for a brief continuance to get everything that they need and to go forth from what they want to present to the court.
Yeah. So for those of you who are watching, if you have an issue, financial issue, and you've heard it here on Real People, Real Voices, that amount might be $1 up to $8,000. It would be Judge Roper that can help you. Now, is this the only accessibility to settling that kind of issue in your court?
Well, I'll just say for Marion County, there's 9 of us. It's not just me, so don't everybody bring me your issues. Let me stop there. My jurisdiction is limited. I do have boundaries, and as far as bringing information, we will consider everything. I don't think there's anything we won't consider as long as it's relevant to what we need to what we're talking about.
And for people who are watching, what are different types of claims that you've come across that are impacting the community in a negative way? Some of the things that you see most often.
Well, in our community, no matter what township or what have you, we have 2 sides of an argument. And I think it's more of what can have a negative impact is that if you're bringing an argument or defending an argument that you're not prepared for your position, no matter what your position is. Not being prepared really limits what the court can even consider, because if you don't bring the issue before the court won't consider it, and maybe it's something that the court would like to consider, but we can't because it hasn't been brought to our attention.
Yeah. You know, Dr. Moore, that's what's interesting. A person can be really passionate about their issue, but they don't have the information to help support their argument.
Passion overrides detail. And that's kind of something that happens in a lot of our lives today. We are so passionate about something that we forget about the detail that's connected to the passion that we have. And but I'm pretty sure Judge Roper helps us with that in those particular. Let me ask you a question, Judge. How was the transition from an attorney to judgeship?
Boy, that's a good question. I didn't have any expectations going into the position, and I say that because I had gone from arguing one position to being in the middle and listening to everything. So for me, it's been a really extraordinary transition for me because I've learned so much, and I consider myself a patient person, and I've really learned in this position that I am a patient person. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that.
That'll pull it out of you.
Yeah, we'll want it.
You're gonna know.
Yeah.
After you have these people, a lot of these folks come before you.
Yeah, a lot of litigants that may not, that are passionate about what they bring to the court. And a lot of times I find that it's a matter of really giving a person the opportunity to have their say. In order to give the person an opportunity to have their say, you have to have the patience, one, to be a good listener so that you can bring out or get from the litigant what you need.
In 10 seconds or more,
Oh.
tell us how you have changed the view of the court opposed to when you first came?
How have I changed the view of the court? Hopefully, I've been a visible person in my community. I enjoy speaking to young people. I enjoy speaking to groups, period. And as you mentioned as part of the intro, I am active in the community, especially with my different organizations and things like that. But I hope that brings some accessibility or what have you to the court, to know that there's a judge out there in your area who's really focused on her community and has a love for her community that's second to none.
Thank you.
I think that can pair off some of the fear
Right.
that people have if you get to know the person. That's
She
gonna be
sounds
on the
approachable.
seat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate you being here with us today.
Yes, yes.
And we want to thank those of you who are in our viewing audience on today. We hope that you have enjoyed our time together with Judge Roper. And if you should ever be in her court, tell her you saw her right here on Real People, Real Voices.
And don't expect any breaks because you saw her here.
No, because she's gonna be working.
She's
then.
gonna be working then, right?
We'll be back in just a bit with the rundown, so don't go away. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm James Jackson.
I'm Pastor Wayne Moore.
And we have special guests with us today, Anthony Mormon and Mr. David Shahade. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
brother.
Pastor. Thank you.
God bless you.
So tell us about real estate, of course. Real estate is always something that people are interested in.
Absolutely.
And you all have some programs and some products that people can take advantage of to become more familiar with real estate.
Absolutely. David and myself have recently embarked on an extension of our real estate careers, which has been quite extensive in themselves, where that we are offering a local real estate course to help investors, blooming investors, that is, people who are aspiring to be real estate investors, in more of a hands-on, face-to-face type of setting, as opposed to the typical seminar setting, where that, and everybody's familiar with that, the seminars that travel around the country, you know, and they set up in hotels and type of thing. We wanted to give people something more real, something more substantive, that could be more of a hands-on, face-to-face, where that you're actually dealing directly with the experts.
Okay. Because a lot of times you do hear the commercials come on. If you want to be a millionaire, buy my product.
Right.
Get these DVDs. And so your program, I'm hearing, is not like that.
It's going to be hands-on, really. You know, we're going to train people one at a time, like hands-on, take them on to show them how to buy, you know, what to look for, and basically be hands-on versus just giving you a CD and have you just listen to it and learn from it.
You want to be more intimate with it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what precipitated the development of this unique idea?
Well, for myself, it was, people would come to me all the time and say, I want to learn how to do what you do. Especially when they find out that, you know, I'm a real estate investor, that I've amassed, you know, quite a few properties, and they want to know how to do what you do. I've had people even stop me in the grocery store in a public place. And I never will forget a couple that said, we went to a seminar and we bought the package, but we're stuck. We don't know what to do. It just doesn't make sense. It seemed good while we were there, and we have the package. And I asked them how much they paid for that package. And when they told me, because I've never in my life been to a real estate seminar, so I had no clue what these packages cost. So when they told me what they paid for the package, I was quite stunned. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I said, I made an appointment with them for them to come to my office. I said, I'm going to teach you what you need to know for where you're wanting to get to. And so that's why I said, you know, I want to do something that is not going to be just a cookie cutter, sell people a bunch of tapes and CDs and books and just send them off to try to figure this out on their own, but actually truly show them and help them to do the real thing.
So these courses and the instructions that are taking place, is that something in Indianapolis? How can people access the information?
Let's go. This will be in Indianapolis to start with. And the website, what's the website address?
www.fliphouses4aliving.com, and the 4 is the number 4.
Say that again. Give us that again.
www.fliphouses4aliving, the number 4.
Now, is there still opportunity in flipping houses? Because, of course, flipping houses got a bad rap from the 90s and with everything that happened, and so people are somewhat ambivalent about getting involved into that concept of flipping houses. Has it been resurrected? Are things turning around?
Absolutely. With the TV shows, so you're absolutely right. Back in the 90s, when the Lord blessed me to get my start in real estate, actually in the 80s, but the late 80s and on through to now, it was a taboo word. We didn't actually use the word flip. The word flip was actually considered very taboo in real estate. But now, with all the TV reality shows, flip this house and flip that house, that has become the popular term now. And so it has made it very acceptable because that's the slang or the term that they're applying to real estate investing now. So it's very acceptable now.
We're not teaching just the flip as well,
Right.
We're teaching passive income because so many Americans right now, they suffer. I mean, according to the statistics, 96% of the American retire poor who age 65 because they don't invest. So what we do is we encourage them to invest at an earlier age. Start investing in real estate because there's passive income. So when you retire, you have passive income, so you don't have to worry about, where the money's going to come next month.
Let me ask a question, David. The commercial end of it. How is the commercial here in Indianapolis? You ride around, you see a lot of vacant commercial properties. How has the commercial emphasis of real estate? Where is it now?
It's a great opportunity. Actually, I like apartment buildings because that's safer. People need a place to live. So I invest first in apartment buildings. Bought a few apartment buildings. I bought one Newcastle. I rehabbed it and sold it. And there's a lot of opportunities right here in Indianapolis for apartment buildings. And of course, you have to know how to buy them. The secret is how much you have to pay for it and how much it's going to cost you when you finish, right?
Absolutely.
It's you have to make, we as investors, we have to make sure we have a lot of meat left after we spend all the money. And that's the tough job. That's where the education comes in. When someone is educated, they're more apt to make a decision. So we give them all the information they need, all the tools they need to know how to price a unit, how much it's going to cost, and we bring other people involved. So you know what you're buying. So when you buy, you already made a lot of money. Because as you know, you make your money when you buy. And that's what we learn, and that's what we became successful with.
So those individuals who are watching that may want to get involved, a lot of times that upfront cost scares people away. And I don't know how much of that you can share, but should that be something that would keep people from investigating or looking into what you have to offer?
Absolutely not. And I'm sure that both Pastor Moore and Pastor Jackson, as well as David and myself, could speak to what we have learned through experience is that, people think, oh, well, if I've got something I want to pursue or an idea I want to do, I need the money first. But in actuality, that's what you need last. So the money is not what you need first, because if what you're pursuing is great enough and solid enough, the money will come. You don't have to worry about the money. So, and matter of fact, we have a slogan that is on some of our Instagram posts on our company Instagram that says, you don't need money, you need the right partner. So it is not about, hey, I would like to get into real estate investing. I know this would be great for my future, my family's future, but I don't have the money. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, or I don't have $50,000. I can't do that. No, the knowledge is power. If you gain the knowledge and then use that knowledge, the money will come.
You have to have desire, though. You have to want to do it, The bottom line, if you have desire, you'll do whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How successful have you all been since you have started this venture?
I bought a bunch of properties. I still own a bunch of them. I have I sold a couple of buildings. Now I have a bunch of houses that are rented. So I really get passive. I'm more into passive income now, more than just a flip, you know. And I did flip quite a few. Now I know Anthony I love to flip too. But I'm more into passive income because I really like the retirement income that it gives me. You know, I don't want to worry about money when I'm 80 or 90. So,
That's a good option.
Yeah.
well, it's nice to have, right?
Right.
Passive income.
Well, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
And thank you all for joining us on today's show. Stay tuned. We're going to be back in just a little bit with the rundown. I think you're going to enjoy it. Well, welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
And I'm Pastor Wayne Moore, the co-host.
And I'm Faith McKinney.
Yeah, so fliphouses for living.com.
For living.com.
And of course, Judge Roper in our first segment.
Yeah, fascinating young lady. Doing great work in the city of Indianapolis, and we need to continue to pray for her.
And those individuals who have some kind of financial disagreement, anywhere from $1, well, she said zero, all the way up to $8,000 can be handled in the small claims court.
Right. Right. And she says, you know, when people come in, they expect Judge Judy, but it's not like that. So
Not like what they see on TV.
No, it's real life.
Yeah.
And she's a compassionate judge, very compassionate about
Yes.
her litigants when they come in the courtroom.
And a Christian.
Yeah, saved. Happen to know what church she belongs to. And she goes pretty regular when she's in town.
Sounds like she might be
Possibility, great
Oh.
a
possibility.
member of Olivet.
Yeah, possibility, possibility.
So, in that second segment, and talking with the gentleman about the flipping of the houses, you know, we talked about the fact that that concept, flipping houses, kind of got some.
Back in the 90s, had a bad stigma.
It sure did. It sure did, because it was so easy for people to come in and purchase property really cheaply and, you know, rent it or sell it as in the same condition. And a lot of people got burned. So, you know, now with the shows, new shows on other channels, they're bringing to light and educating people about what it takes to flip a home and what you should be looking for. So we're more educated now, and you know, I believe that Indianapolis will be a great market for it.
And Mr. Shahadi indicated that he's not just interested in that fast income that might come from
Passive
flipping a house.
income.
Passive income.
Yeah, I heard that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he wants a steady flow.
Yeah, he talked about that several times.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
It is
See,
important.
He didn't want to be 80 years old and doesn't have any money.
And also leaving a legacy for your family.
Yeah.
You know, that's important. When you flip a home, that's a one-time income, but when you have passive income by renting your property, it goes on and on.
And as he indicated, you have to have the desire, the dedication, the stick-to-itiveness, if you're going to be successful in that.
And I think what is unique about the program that he has is he's dealing with people on an individual basis. He's talking to them, sitting them down. He's not giving them a load of CDs, workbooks. He said, come to my office, let's talk about it. I'll show you how to get where you want to be.
Yeah, I can't
That's
tell you
great.
how much I spent on those CDs. I have a closet full. But yeah, their approach is going to be hands-on. They're going to show you exactly what to do. They're going to take you to the sites, and you'll be able to see what a deal looks like. So, you know, I'm excited for the people of Indianapolis because this is starting here.
It's an entrepreneurial opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you want to get involved, as was indicated, flip houses for living.com. You get involved, see what you can do. Thank you for watching on today. We're always glad that you join us. Invite your friends and family to watch the next show, Sundays at 6:30 p.m., Wednesdays at 11 o'clock p.m. We hope to see you on next week.